Hi, good morning. Welcome to Vibrant Authentic Living. This is Nandi. How are you this morning? It's almost 6 a.m. here in Jamaica. So we're getting ready to start our day. Our reflection today is get rid of him if he's serving no purpose. I've had the experience. I remember once in my life where I had to say to the person I was with, after a lot of reflection, I remember I spent a lot of time thinking to myself, where is this going? What is the real benefit that this person has? And I remember saying to the person that, I am progressing, I am evolving, I'm coming into being, and it's not because of you. It's in spite of you. And that was a very deep statement. And I was watching a video just now and I heard someone say it and it just took me back to that time. And I'm saying it's a really sad situation where you can be in a relationship and you have to be saying to the person, I am progressing, I am getting better, I am coming into myself, but it's not because of you. It's in spite of you. That's really deep, and that's what I want to talk about this morning. As usual, we're going to look at our lemon water feature and come right back. when you're in a relationship, what is the purpose of that relationship? When you're in an intimate relationship with someone, what is the role? What is the function that each person should serve? Um, well, if there are children involved, then you have an obligation. You both have an obligation towards the nurturing of those children, towards the protection and providing the things that those kids need, right? So that aside, I'm talking about your function in terms of each other, in terms of the two adults involved in the relationship. You should be there to grow together. You should be there to help promote each other, cheer each other on, um, be that solid thing that is there on both sides. So you're depending on him, he's depending on you, right? Or for males, she's depending on you, you're depending on her. And you know that this person has your back, this person wants the best for you, this person will do the best to push you forward. If you're in a relationship with someone and you find that you have to be doing everything to advance yourself in spite of that person. So that person might, maybe it's a case where they're not doing anything to hold you up, they're not doing anything to push you forward. Or it can even get to the point where they're doing things to sabotage your progress. They're deliberately getting in the way, they're deliberately getting underfoot in your progress. You might think, okay, I want to do a particular thing. I want to get better qualifications. I want to start a business. I want to advance myself in some way. And if you find that they are deliberately doing things to hinder that, or they're telling you negative things to make you doubt yourself, to make you lose confidence, so that you don't have that oomph to go forward and take that next step. They do things and say things that will sow seeds of doubt in your mind. That's sabotage. If you're in a relationship and someone is sabotaging you, getting in your way, hindering you, holding you back, holding you down, then that is very unhealthy, and that's something you need to get yourself out of. And sometimes it's really hard. Leaving a relationship is hard because you have so much invested, and especially if you've been together for a number of years, and especially if there are children involved, and especially if you are legally married. All of these things make it more difficult. So it's not just the emotional investment, there are financial investments, there are ties that are in some cases unbreakable, because if children are involved, this is someone whom you're going to be having to deal with for a very long time. So you might say to yourself, especially as women, we are long suffering and long bearing, and we tend to want to stick it out, and we tend to want to wait and see if it gets better. But no, listen, if you're in a relationship and you are not being celebrated, you are not being promoted, you are not being encouraged to make steps that will advance you, you need to get out of that relationship. You need to either be by yourself, be bad by yourself until you get better. Don't be bad with someone else, and that person is supposed to be there to uplift you. You have to find the courage to take that step to cut ties with that person, especially if you are not, you guys don't have kids together yet, you're not married yet, so that it's even easier if you're just in a relationship without those legal ties. It's even easier for you to say, listen, I have to put myself first and I have to be in a healthy, nurturing environment with someone who is not going to feel threatened by me trying to advance. There are some men who feel threatened by a woman wanting to advance herself, by a woman wanting to gain some independence, some financial security for herself. They will feel threatened and they will start projecting their own insecurities to the point where you might not even be doing or saying anything to challenge their own financial situation, but they automatically interpret your independence as putting them down or trying to overpower them. You might not do or say anything to indicate that, but because of their own insecurity, they interpret the situation as you flying in their face, right? And this is not a healthy situation to be in. It's not a healthy situation to be in. You should not be advancing in spite of your partner. You should be advancing because of your partner and because of your own effort as well. That's what the whole relationship is there for, to promote each other, to advance each other, not in spite of each other. You shouldn't be thriving in spite of the tearing down, in spite of the sabotage, in spite of the knocks on your self-esteem. Should not be a struggle. The tide of the relationship should be forward and upward. You should not be swimming against the tide. The tide should not be pulling you down and pulling you back, and you're trying to swim against that. And you're having to muster the courage to do things in the middle of tears, in the middle of depression, in the middle of crying in your bathroom, lock yourself in the bathroom crying, in the middle of crying yourself to sleep. You have to be thinking of, you have to be doing your schoolwork in the middle of tears, trying to advance yourself in the middle of tears. That should not be the situation for you. You should be advancing yourself in the midst of happiness and cheerleading, and your partner should be your biggest fan, pushing you forward, encouraging you, pushing you, promoting you, being by your side, stepping forward together. That is a healthy relationship. And if you find yourself in a situation where you're being tugged down or you're being made to feel guilty for wanting to advance, that is unhealthy. And I'm encouraging you this morning, as your sister, as someone who has been there, to break free from that. And if it means that you have to be alone, whether for a while or for a long while, so be it. But you are the most important thing in your life, and your advancement is the reason you are here, to evolve, to come into yourself, to be your best self, and don't stay around anyone who's going to hinder that. Kick them to the curb.